Surprise, we're going live again, y'all. This is time we're going on Chartres Street, and we're gonna be walking from Esplanade all the way back to Canal Street on Chartres. We'll pass the cathedral, all that good stuff, because I realized, hey, I gotta get back to my car, so I might as well just go live again. As the sun is setting on this beautiful New Orleans day, we hope and pray that Verizon, the arch nemesis of the people, will hold up in this live stream. That it won't go dark like it did 3 times in the other live stream. We hope and pray that Verizon has its stuff together, but alas, we shall see. Very quiet here. Residential neighborhood. Still beautiful nonetheless. And yeah, we walking through the French Quarter. You could probably see the very top of the cathedral. Yeah, you can. These people in the cars are probably gonna be so mad at me because I'm just taking my good old time, walking the streets. But you gotta enjoy it. There's our beautiful roads here in the state of Louisiana. You don't want to be carrying any type of soup or gumbo because you will spill it. It will get all over your car. So you see here, you have all these ornate horses. And that's where they would hitch their horses back in the gap. We kept them because you never know when you need to hitch your horse. I love this one because its eyes are red. Eyes glowing red horse. You know, they ready for Mardi Gras. Are y'all ready for Mardi Gras? I'm ready for Mardi Gras. My birthday's on March 1st, right after. So it's gonna be one hell of a month. Followed by a month of sobriety, probably. Gotta get my body used to breathing air again instead of just beer. Passing Governor Nichols. Governor Nichols has his namesake, obviously, Nichols State University. Sobriety is good, Lent is good. That is correct. I'm probably gonna give up some type of food for Lent. Now, Governor Nichols also has the Lawlery Mansion, which is right down the way here. That's the Lawlery Mansion. Huge tourist spot. But we're not going down Governor Nichols. Today we're going on Chartres. Now, this is one of the oldest spots in the entire state of Louisiana. This is the Ursuline convent. Lots of vampiric activities. Hey, tidbits, what's up? St. Mary's Catholic Church. Beautiful and massive. So we had a fire here in 1788. I'd say about 80% of the city burned to the ground. And this is one of the only buildings that survived. There's a couple of them. All right, you went to Ursuline Academy. Yes, indeed. So this is where the nuns stayed when they first came to New Orleans. And the casket girls would stay with them. Those little girls that had their suitcases, kind of look like little caskets. And now they're stored upstairs here, boarded up windows. There's a lot of rumors that it was vampiric in nature. Lots of vampire stories at this one little section. It's a beautiful structure. I recommend come and take a tour if you have the time. Now across the street from it here, it's closed, but it's the Beauregard Keys house. The Beauregard Keys has a museum inside as well. It's also where we filmed Interview with the Vampire. Is the brothel scene, the new one. I'm talking about the new Interview with the Vampire. Not the one with Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise. Go down, there's the river. You worked on that, I worked on that too. We probably worked on it at the same time, past Nola. We had to be working on it at the same time. It took up about 1.5 years to film everything, so that's awesome. We worked on the same thing. This place is haunted, the Provincial. The Provincial. We'll do a ghost story on that maybe another day. Lots of ghostly activity in every little corner of the city, and I love it. It's a hotel. See a lot of Creole. Bonjour à tous. Bonjour. Ça va? Got our Ukrainian flag, show support for Ukraine. Right next to the Delarond house. Delarond, he was in Algiers for a while, I believe. I got to do more research on him. I'm not sure. This, though, is an eyesore. Why you got a beautiful ass city like we do and you're going to put something like this in its way? This looks atrocious. But nevertheless, we come up to some beautiful houses real quick. I'm getting my miles in today, y'all, that's for sure. I'm going in the middle of the street so y'all can see. So on either side here, you have the beautiful wrought iron. Austin, the weather is absolutely phenomenal. Could not get better weather right now. It's like a perfect 70 degrees, no humidity. This is the best time to be here right now, which is odd for January because normally it's either very, very cold or just regular cold. We get a bitter cold down here. It goes straight to the bone. But it don't feel like that today because your boy's wearing this nice Louisiana Dread short sleeve and some shorts. And I'm probably about to get hit by a car. Nope, I'm up a one-way. We good. And we're coming up on Harry's Corner. On your left here, Harry's Corner is probably the spot that has the cheapest drinks in the city. Sorry, the French Quarter. It's like its own little city. Yes, there is Louisiana Dread merch. Working with Sam right now to get it so you could purchase it on our website. Once we get that figured out, y'all can order as much as y'all want with all kind of different things. We got t-shirts, we have mugs, we have sweaters, hoodies, all that kind of stuff with Louisiana Dread designs. And I'll be making an announcement soon once we get that sorted through and figured out. We're coming up on the cathedral. Probably the most photographed place in the entire city of New Orleans, if not the entire state of Louisiana. Look, it's snowing. We even got snow here. I think it's snow. It's probably powdered sugar. Nice little bookstore too. Dauphine Street Books. Nope, don't show those people. Standing right in the middle of the road here. So once you get close to the cathedral, you have 2 restaurants on either side. First one we're gonna come up to is Muriel's. Muriel's has its own resident ghost who likes to kind of chill in this little area. If this camera would turn. That's for the ghost in the back, so he doesn't cause any mischief and trouble. He was a gambler. And he started throwing all kind of bottles and was pretty much like a poltergeist until they reserved him a permanent seat there. Now he's a chill guy. They also have a seance room in there. A friend of mine went for her birthday. It was quite the experience. All right. We in Jackson Square. The Pontabla Apartments here again for Miss Michaela Almonaster Pontabla. And remember what I said, that you could see there's the A here and the P is on that side. She was the HBIC, head bitch in charge. She was going to divorce her husband at the time. They had a kid, but they were going to divorce. And to kind of stop that from happening, her father-in-law goes into her Pontabla apartment on this side and shoots her 3 times. Then he goes into his room and blows his brains out. But he didn't kill Michaela. She still lived. And she owned both apartments on either side of Jackson Square. You could only imagine the amount of money that would kind of generate today. And here's this beauty. She is so beautiful, this church. You see it a lot. Interview with the Vampire, all kind of other movies. I just keep thinking about that show now. Pope John Paul II came, check it out, whenever he was a pope. It is a wonderful place. Very beautiful inside. It's kind of like Notre Dame in a way that you should check it out when you come visit. Now here is, turn the camera, come on, okay. This is Pirates Alley. This was like the first main street in New Orleans. Lots of pirate activity, but contrary to all the tour guides, they did not do business on this street. This was the jail and the courthouse. This was the church. Back here is the bar, Pirates Alley Cafe. They didn't do business here. They did have fun. They drank a lot. They had a good time. They reserved their business for other places in the French Quarter, like Lafitte's Blacksmith Shop, those kind of places. So don't let any of these tour guides tell you otherwise. They would basically go get drunk. They do something to get arrested. They come get arrested into the Cabildo here, which was the jail. They wake up the next morning. If they were released, they go right here to the church. They would repent, and then they would just go down the street to the bar and do it all over again. The other Pontabla, very beautiful also. Now this place, Tableau, absolutely phenomenal. The food is good, the service is good, the manager is awesome. Tableau is definitely a place that you need to make reservations for when you come to New Orleans. You need to come eat this food. It's phenomenal. Tell them Louisiana Dread sent you. They make a mean Sazerac too. Sazerac is probably the quintessential drink that you need to get when you come to New Orleans in the French Quarter. So again, Tableau, put that on your list of things to see and eat and do. So far you holding up, Verizon. I'm pretty surprised. Maybe you heard me complaining earlier, but Sauvin, also a good spot to eat when you're in New Orleans. Not as good as Tableau, but it'll do, donkey. I love all the dogs that they got here today. Look, he's so happy. He's the happiest boy. Some more reflexologies. You got a lot of boutiques here. If you like shoes, everybody wears them. So we'll cross the street here because I want to show y'all where it has Flirty Girl right here, this little green door where that little good boy is. That's where that fire started. The fire of 1788 started right there, and it burned down 80% of the French Quarter, which was the entire city at the time. And it was on Good Friday. And that holds a significance because the priests at the cathedral, which is literally a stone's throw away. Fire started there, cathedral's there. The priest would not ring those bells to let the entire city know that it was on fire because it was Good Friday and that the bells could not be rung on that religious holiday. And as a result of that fire, You lose 80% of the buildings, but then it's rebuilt. It's rebuilt, though, in the Spanish sense, because it was Spanish rule at that time. We're about to pass a tour guide, y'all. Let's see if they're lying. Oh, he's telling the story of the Zach and Addie. It's more of a recent ghost in 2006. I'll tell you the story later. If you go on our Patreon, you could see the story in its entirety, but it involves a lot of unpleasant events. In fact, a lot of tour groups don't tell that story because it's in bad taste. But I mean, it's a story nonetheless. It's 100% true, though. A very sad story, though. Now here, but again, if you want to know about the story, go to our Patreon. It's only a $10 monthly subscription. You can cancel at any time. This is the Pharmacy Museum. This museum is, I like to kind of bill it as, it's a museum that you didn't know you wanted to go to, if that makes any sense. It's very informational, super historic, and I highly recommend it. It's not expensive at all. It's completely self-guided, so you can just go in and see for yourself. This is the Napoleon House. This is where Napoleon was said to have stayed if he would have made it to New Orleans instead of getting killed on the island of Elba. But they have good food, they have good cocktails. Hello. Napoleon House is my favorite drink and eat spot in the quarter. Yes, indeed, it's a good spot. They got some good things going on in Napoleon House. Very historical, I recommend. We have the courthouse on the right, federal courthouse here. But in this little area, y'all, you have to stop. You have to stop and read all of these little plaques, because everywhere you go is super historical. Like, look how old this, I mean, it's not old, but at the bank inside, there's all kind of cool stuff to see and do. Now, this is where I come do a lot of research. Right here, this building is the Williams Research Center. I'll come here and I read a lot of books, especially when it's New Orleans specific information. Whereas when I do like the Bayou stories on Lafourche, that is gonna be, oh, hello from Spanish Town. What's happening? Spanish Town, Baton Rouge, I'm assuming. And not Jamaica, but correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, Williams Research Center there. There's a lot of cool information on the French Quarter and New Orleans as a whole. I'll go to like the Nichols State Archives, Nichols State Library to find information about Lafourche and Assumption and Ascension and all that kind of stuff. Oh. What do you know? Verizon, you couldn't do it the whole time, could you? In this day and age, we put people on the moon, we put people in space. Why can't we have continuous, uninterrupted cell phone service? They sure do know how to send that bill on time, though. Okay, y'all gotta stop here too. Put this on your list. It is part of the W Hotel. It's called Third Block Depot. I did a gumbo review on this place, and it was phenomenal. 9 out of 10 gumbo review. They make amazing cocktails. We started the cocktail series on our Patreon that highlights local bartenders and their local cocktails that they'll make. The food is delicious. Chef Nicholas knows what the hell he's doing. And it looks like they're setting up for a band tonight too. So definitely put that on your list. Third Block Depot. Anyway, back to Verizon. Certain scum of the cell phone industry, Verizon just can't keep their customers happy. I don't know why I still have Verizon. Probably because all of the cell phone companies are snakes and just all around bad. Now, if you sell these phones, I'm not after you. That's not your fault. You didn't make the phone. But the higher ups, the executives. You're the scum. Unless you give us all kind of money and uninterrupted cell phone service whenever we go and film our stuff, then I'm not going to complain about you. But until that day comes, you're scum. We're getting closer to downtown with the Sheraton here. Justine is a fancy spot. You want to be bougie? Come eat Justine. Mostly locals come here. Been to Napoleon House so many times. I never saw the pharmacy. Yep, the pharmacy is right there. It's right next to it. That's what I mean. Like when y'all come to New Orleans, come take a little walk outside the traditional like tourist spots. You're not gonna be disappointed. Ooh, a coffee review series. Austin, you might have a brilliant idea right there. We might do that. I'm gonna be wired to the T just because coffee gets me amped up. That would be something Michael could do. Michael, if you're listening, you should do a coffee review because that dude drinks coffee like it's water. All right, so this is the Gemini Lounge. It was a famous gay bar for a while. It was also sort of a horrific fire that it killed a lot of people. It was hate motivated. It was a gay man who lit the fire. It killed a lot of gay men. But the thing is that the priests in the area didn't want to hold service for these people because of that they were gay. But there was one priest who stood up in the face of hatred, and he gave these people a proper burial, which we can all agree is deserved. You know, these people needed to be buried. Their families can have rest and closure, but very sad. They have a plaque there. Now it's a bar. You could go check it out when you come here. It's a dive bar, very cheap drinks, considering anyway. Now it used to be like a porn store, but now it's Halloween. Check that out. And yo, we've reached the end. We're on Canal. So again, I highly recommend you come take a walk on Chartres. We're at downtown now with Canal Street, the lovely Canal Street. You should need to come take a little walk down all these streets, y'all. It didn't take me long at all. See, it was a 22-minute walk. Not bad at all. And I'm not walking fast either. It's just the whole city's walkable. At least the whole French Quarter is, but it's a beautiful night, beautiful evening as the sun goes down. And this is where I'm gonna leave y'all. Got the new and improved Popeyes to your right. But again, thank y'all for joining me on this walk through New Orleans. And if you have any questions at all, please feel free to send us an email, kyleladread@gmail.com. Hit us up. And when you come into the city, if you want some good recommendations, and be sure to subscribe to our Patreon, patreon.com/LouisianaDread. And yeah, y'all have a good night. Y'all are awesome.